So the first program you work on is just to read the CSV file, store it into arrays, and then display it on the right hand side. Okay, so I'll just talk you through how you do that one. Now, the data file, the diabeticdata.csv file is given to you. Now, think about these as essentially a record. Okay, so that's a phone number, that's a name, that's a glucose number, and that's a cholesterol. Okay, now you've got 4 bits of information for each person. They're separated by commas and they're on a separate line for each person. CSV actually stands for comma separated values. Okay, now we've got 4 bits of information about each person, so we're going to have 4 separate arrays. One array to store the phone number, another array to store the name, another array to store the glucose reading, and another one to store the cholesterol. And you'll find that thinking about, just imagine these are indices or the index of the array. If you're in this array, okay, obviously it starts at 0, but if you're in this array, index 6 of the phone array and index 6 of the name array, well, they're linked together. That's the phone number for that person. Same with index 6 of the glucose and index 6 of the cholesterol array. These are all related to the one person. Okay, so if you look at the program, what we do is we have a method, we have a call statement to a function. This call statement is going to call read file and is expecting it to send back 4 arrays. Okay, so it goes read file. Now it goes up and it says, right, here's read file. Within that, the first thing we do is we initialize 4 arrays: phone, name, glucose, and cholesterol. Now they're declared within this function, so they're called local variables or local arrays because it's only accessible within the function or procedure it's declared in. So we create 4 arrays. Okay, what we then do is we then have to have the name of the file, and this is called R for read. So we're going to read this file into a data structure called text file. Now we're going to split it line at a time and take each line and extract that information. Okay, so where it sees that there's a comma, what it's basically saying is, if we go back here, there's 4 bits of information. So we're going to call this item 0, item 1, item 2, item 3. And what actually happens there is we take the first piece of data, which will be the phone number. Okay, we extract that piece of data and we add it on or append it onto the array called phone. We then take the second piece of information, which is the name, and then append it to the array called name, and glucose and cholesterol. So it's essentially doing line by line, it's doing it in between the commas. So it takes that, adds it to the phone array, and then looks at what's after the next comma, adds it to the name array, adds it to the glucose array, and adds it to the cholesterol array. Okay, and then once it's done that and it goes through the whole array, so it goes through until it's gone through all the lines, it then returns these 4 data structures and it gives it these values into phone array, name array, gluc array, and cholesterol array. Okay, so that's essentially where that's coming from. Now once you've got this bit of code done, you would then copy and paste it into the 4 remaining programs, because every program's needing you to type in or get the data from it. So if I run that, it should give me an output here. Now it's nice and formatted in columns, and this is using something called ljust. So that means left justify, and 15 means that's a kind of buffer number to say allow 15 characters for this one column. Obviously with this one, most of the characters out of the 15 are taken up with a phone number, but it then makes a perfect alignment. Kelly, that's obviously the person's name. There's 15 characters designated to Kelly, so it's essentially these are 15 characters. Ljust 15 just means that there's going to be 15 characters wide, and just fill in information in these 15 characters. Okay, That's 15, and you'll see that they're all the exact same length. If you wanted to narrow it, you'll just reduce the size of the number. Obviously, you can get to a point in which you're cutting off some of the data if it's too narrow. Okay, but they're all 15. Right. So it's essentially got a heading, which you'll have up here. A wee heading. That line just means a new line. Okay, and then underneath the heading, it goes through the. It's just picked the array called phone, and it goes through. For the length of that array, will tell you the number of loops it has to go through, and so it will then be taking the information from the arrays and then outputting it. Okay. And that's essentially how you would do this first task. Hopefully that's helped you.